Oh, that was.
All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Racha Kodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I want to send much love unto the brothers out there doing his work in truth and sincerity. And also, I want to send peace and blessings unto the believers of the hopeful elect. And today in this lesson, I wanted to go over the three major battles that was fought between Alexander the Great of the Greek Empire and between the Persian Empire, also known as the Achaemenid Empire, okay? And I don't want to try to make this lesson too long and tedious, man, but I do want to get into this information, all right, because it's good to know the history, right? And the Apostle Hart always says, you got to know the history to understand the mystery, okay? And I've learned this history, from the apostles and the elders, man, of different brothers. And so I'm just giving it back, to you brothers and sisters through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. And I pray that you're edified, and also take some good notes, man, okay? Because it's good to have this information when you're reading the Holy Scriptures. Now, I wanted to start here in the book of Daniel, the 8th chapter, all right, because Daniel receives visions, of these two great empires of the Greeks and, the Medo-Persian Empire, but also, of the Babylonian Empire, right? Rome, even this great empire that we're in today, okay? But I wanted to focus in on the Greeks and the Persians, and I pray that you brothers and sisters out there are edified, man, all right? So starting here, Daniel 8:1, it says, in the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. It says, verse 2, and I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam, and I saw in a vision, and I was by the river Ulai, right? It says, verse 3, then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns. Now, before I continue on, let's see who the ram is with the 2 horns, okay? Because the Holy Scriptures give us the answer. Let's see who is the ram with the 2 horns, right? This is Daniel chapter 8 and verse 20. It says, the ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia. So this ram with 2 horns, brothers and sisters, is representing the Medo-Persian Empire, okay? It's just that here up in the verses, Daniel is he's basically speaking parabolically, and he's writing down what he actually saw, okay? But it represented something, all right? So it says, then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river, a ram which had 2 horns, right? It says, and the 2 horns were high, meaning what? These were two great empires, okay? The Medes and the Persian. There was two great kingdoms, man. It says, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. Meaning what? The higher is speaking about the Persian Empire, okay? Because they came up last or came up after the Medes. Because before the Persian Empire became great, the Medes, their empire had the Jews first, so to speak, okay? And the Medes Empire was controlled by King Astyages, okay? And his name also is mentioned in the Holy Scriptures, all right? They had the Persians actually in subjection for a period of time. But it says what? But one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. Because eventually, all right, the Medes and the Persians, they basically went to war, okay? King Cyrus, right, and his father, but mainly King Cyrus the Great, he went to war with the Medes, man. And he defeated Astyages, okay? He defeated the Mede Empire. And he took on all of the glory and the power in the lands that Astyages had possessed. And how do we know this? The scriptures. This is the Apocrypha, and this is the book of Baal and the Dragon, chapter 1, and reading verse 1. And it says, and King Astyages was gathered unto his fathers, meaning that he died. It says, and Cyrus of Persia received his kingdom. So as the scripture said, it said that the higher came up last, meaning the Persians, they came up last, man. And their kingdom was greater than the Medes' kingdom. But Cyrus took on Astyages' kingdom. And this is why you have the Medo-Persian Empire spoken about in the Holy Scriptures, man. Okay? They became one, so to speak, but Persia was on top. Okay? So, going back to the Holy Scriptures here, right? I'll read verse 3 again. It says, then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had two horns, and the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last, right? And the higher came up last is talking about the Persians, okay? It says, verse 4, it says, I saw the ram, right, meaning the Medo-Persian Empire, pushing westward and northward and southward. And the westward that it's talking about, brothers and sisters, is talking about Lydia, okay? Because Lydia was west over in Greece, okay? Then it says northward and southward, okay? It's talking about Babylon, right? And southward is talking about Egypt, okay? That's what it's talking about. The Medo-Persian Empire went and conquered all of those kingdoms, man, and became great, right? And you can do the research on it, and check the history, man. That's what it's talking about, pushing westward, northward, and southward. And why don't it says that it pushed eastward? Because the Persian Empire was in the east, okay? They started in the east, but they pushed westward, northward, and southward, all right? It says, I saw the ram pushing westward, northward, and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. All right. And the Medo-Persian Empire was indeed a great empire, man, a mighty empire. All right. And it became even greater under the hand of Xerxes, man. Okay. And we should all know about Xerxes, right? If you saw the movie 300, he's being portrayed in that movie. Okay. And he had a great kingdom, man. And it's spoken about here in the Holy Scriptures. This is Esther chapter 1, Verse 1, it says, now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, okay, and this Ahasuerus, brothers and sisters, is talking about Xerxes, man, okay? It says, this is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia over 120, over 107 and 20 provinces. So this man controlled 127 provinces, or today we say, states, right? America has 50 provinces or 50 states, right? Well, this man controlled 127. So he had two Americas, okay, of the land mass that he controlled, right, so to speak. He controlled a lot, man. He was the richest king, okay, of the Medes and Persians, all right? It says that in those days, when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan the palace, in the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces being before him. Verse 4 says, when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty many days, even 180 days. So for 180 days, this man had a feast, man. Okay, basically a party. What party have you been to that lasted 180 days, man? This guy was balling, okay? But it was prophesied that that kingdom of the Medes and the Persians, all right, will be a great kingdom, man. Okay, a great empire. And they was, all right? Now, back in Daniel 8, okay, going to verse 5, it says, and as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth. What's the west talking about? It's talking about Greece, okay? The he-goat came from Greece, all right? It says, and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. Now, let's prove that this he-goat is talking about the Greeks, okay? The Greek Empire, man. This is Daniel 8:21. It says, the rough goat is the king of Grecia. It says, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. And who is that first king talking about? It's talking about Alexander the Great, because he was the first king to reign over Greece. How do we know this? The Holy Bible, man. Okay, the scriptures. This is First Maccabees, right? And I just want to get these scriptures first. All right, brothers and sisters. Then I grab those 3 major battles, man. Okay, but these scriptures got to be established first. So this is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. It says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, and he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. Okay, and this was Darius the third, man. All right, it was many Darius, but this Darius that is talking about, Darius the third. Okay, but it says that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. And what it says here back in Daniel, all right, it says what? The rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. That's Alexander the Great. All right. So going back to Daniel 8:5, right? So now you know what it's talking about. It says, and as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. Let's talk about Alexander the Great. Verse 6 says, and he came to the ram that had 2 horns, meaning the Medo-Persian Empire, right? He made war with them. He had battle with them, right? But this is Daniel speaking parabolically. Okay, it says, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. Meaning he came with everything that he had, man. Okay? He came to destroy them. It says, verse 7, and I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler, right? Against him, meaning with anger. Okay? He was pissed, man. Because if you do research, the Medo-Persian Empire was putting hell on them Greeks, man. Okay? Who was really Edomites. Okay? It says, and smote the ram, right? And break his two horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him, right? Because the Most High was with Alexander the Great, man. Because it was time for the Medo-Persian Empire to fall and for the Greeks to reign. It says, but he cast him down to the ground and stepped upon him. It says, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. So the Greeks, through Alexander, they defeated the Medo-Persian Empire, man. And that's when Alexander reigned, okay? And I want to get those three major battles that took place between them and just show you how through one of those battles, Alexander, he just reigned supreme after that, man. So reading First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1 again, it says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, of the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth. It says, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. So Alexander and his men went through the earth, man, and destroyed the Medo-Persian Empire. All of their strongholds, all of the people that they had, set in place who were subject to them, they took them all down, man. All right. Verse 4 says, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. And so now I wanted to get into the three major battles that took place. All right. I had to get those scriptures out just so you can know what I'm about to get into. Okay. So the first major battle that took place between Alexander the Great and the Medo-Persian Empire is the Battle of the Granicus. Okay. The Battle of the Granicus. All right. And please forgive me because some of these words, I think like two of these words are kind of hard to pronounce. So forgive me in advance. All right. But it says the Battle of the Granicus in May 334 BC was the first of three major battles fought between Alexander the Great of Macedon and the Persian Achaemenid Empire. The battle took place on the road from Abydos to Dioscelium. Please forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. All right. It says at the crossing of the Granicus in the Troad region, which is now called the Biger River in Turkey. And in the battle, Alexander defeated the field army of the Persian satraps, right? And satraps is talking about, it says a satrap was a governor of the provinces of the ancient Median and Achaemenid Empire, and in several of their successors, such as in the Sasanian Empire and the Hellenistic Empire. Okay, so a satrap is a governor. Okay, it says of Asia Minor, which defended the river crossing. After this battle, the Persians were forced on the defensive in the cities that remained under their control and region. So the battle of the Granicus River was the first of three major battles that was fought between Alexander the Great and the Greeks, and between the Medo-Persian Empire, also known as the Achaemenid Empire. All right. And brothers can, do their research, read about the background of what took place, different things. But this is the first major battle that took place. All right. Now, the second major battle that took place is the Battle of Issus. All right. The Battle of Issus is the second major battle that took place between the Greeks under Alexander and the Medo-Persian Empire under Darius III. Okay. It says the Battle of Issus, also Issos, occurred in southern Anatolia on 5 November 333 BC between the Hellenic League, led by Alexander the Great, and the Achaemenid Empire, led by Darius III. It said it was the second great battle of Alexander's conquest of Asia, and the first encounter between Darius III and Alexander the Great. The battle resulted in the Macedonian troops defeating the Persian forces. All right. And this is a painting, okay, of that battle. All right. And this painting is an actual painting or a copy from what they had inside of ancient Rome of Alexander the Great and the Medo-Persian Empire, man. Okay. So this is a actual document. All right. And I actually have this picture here in the book, man. Okay. That was given to me by a brother, man. All right. I still got it. So it says, after the Hellenic League soundly defeated the Persian satraps of Asia Minor, led by Greek mercenary Memnon of Rhodes at the Battle of the Granicus, okay, and this guy, Memnon of Rhodes, okay, he was a Greek man, okay, really, he was an Edomite, okay. This guy right here, hey, look, man, he was badass, man, okay, and he almost defeated Alexander at the Battle of Granicus, but according to prophecy, Alexander couldn't be defeated, man. So he was overcame, but this guy right here, he was a bad man, okay. Memnon of Rhodes, he was a bad guy. Okay, do your research on that guy, man. It says Darius took personal command of his army. It says he gathered reinforcements and proceeded to lead his men in a surprise march behind the Hellenic advance. In order to cut off their line of supply, Alexander was forced to countermatch, and the stage was set for the battle near the mouth of the Peneris River and the town of Issus. Okay, and once again, you can read on, and check out, this battle. Okay, they have videos, different animations of the battle, and what they suspect, took place at the battles. All right, but nevertheless, we know that Alexander won. Okay, so this is the second major battle that took place between those two kingdoms under Alexander and Darius III. All right, and the third major battle is the Battle of Gaugamela. Okay, the Battle of Gaugamela is the third major battle that took place, man. All right, it says the Battle of Gaugamela. It says also called the Battle of Arbela. It says took place in 331 BC between the forces of the army of Macedon under Alexander the Great and the Persian army under King Darius III. It was the second and final battle between the two kings and is considered to be the final blow to the Achaemenid Empire, resulting in its complete conquest by Alexander. So this battle here, okay, is the main battle that they place the rule of the Greeks under Alexander. All right, this is when they say, like, that they started here with him. Okay, this battle right here, man. It says the fighting took place in Gaugamela, which literally meant the camel's house, a village on the banks of the river of Bermudas. It says the area today will be considered modern day Erbil, Iraq, according to Urbano Monte's world map. Alexander's army was heavily outnumbered, and modern historians say that the odds were enough to give the most experienced veteran pause. And they was outnumbered, man, and damn near all their battles, okay? But nevertheless, Alexander, he came out victorious, man. Why? Because of prophecy, okay? The Lord was with him to defeat the Medo-Persian Empire, man. It says, despite the overwhelming odds, Alexander's army emerged victorious due to the employment of superior tactics and the clever usage of light infantry forces. It was a decisive victory for the League of Corinth, and it led to the fall of the Achaemenid Empire and of Darius III. So based off this battle here, all right, this third major battle, the Battle of Gaugamela, this is when they say that Alexander finally took down basically the power of the Medo-Persian Empire. Now, after this, he fought other, battles and skirmishes with, certain Persian satraps, all right, who was so-called a defendant of the regions, but they didn't stand a chance, man. Okay, after this battle right here, it was a wrap for the Medo-Persian Empire, man. Okay, and also after this battle is when Darius III was put to death by one of his men. Okay, they killed him, man, and Alexander was pissed, that they had killed him, because Alexander actually, he admired, Darius III, man, because he was a great man. Okay, and the man who killed Darius III, Alexander went hunting for that nigga, and they put him to death, man. And then Alexander gave King Darius III, a proper burial and everything, because he respected the guy. All right. So with that, man, I pray that you brothers and sisters are edified. I didn't want to make this too long. I know that some brothers don't like to sit, through history, brothers be yarning and shit. But I pray that you brothers are edified, man. I pray you took some good notes. These three major battles, man. The Battle of the Granicus River, the Battle of Issus, and Battle of Gaugamela, okay, were the three major battles that took place between Alexander the Great and the Medo-Persian Empire, okay? I pray that you were edified to the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Once again, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai by Hashem Aruchah Kodash. I do honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom. And shalom to you brothers and sisters on the coming board, man. Shalom.